Hey y'all, it's Courtney and I'm back with another video. And first off, I'm going to give you guys a little baby bump update here. There she is, Miss Nova, in there growing and kicking me all the time. And I am 27 weeks right now. And yeah, she is growing. She is 2 pounds now. I went to the doctor 4 weeks ago, and she was 1.1 pounds, and now she's 2. So I think she's going to be much bigger than Autumn. Autumn was 6 pounds, 2 ounces. So we will see. But I did get a call today saying that I need to get a growth scan every 4 weeks now. So that's a little concerning to me because obviously... and I asked, I'm like, was there anything to worry about? Did you guys see something that you're worried about? And she's like, no, there's nothing to worry about. It's just because of your past. And you guys have been here for a long time. You know what I mean. I'm a mother of 5 children and only 1 living right now. And God willing, I'm not even religious, but whoever you are up there willing, this baby will be my second living child, and then I have an adopted child as well. So technically I'm a mother of 3 alive children out of 6. So I just completely lost what I was saying. But so it is stressful. You just think about it. It's always in the back of your mind. Anybody that's went through that, if they say any little thing, you're like, oh my god, is there something wrong? And even if everything's perfectly fine, it's always back in your head. What if this happens? What if that happens? So that's really stressful, but other than that, everything's good. So there's my little baby update. I completely lost what I was saying there for a second. But anyways, today I do have a point that I want to talk about. And I didn't really prepare myself for this. I should have, but you guys know that I just ramble anyway, so if you're down for that, that's probably what I'll be doing. But I do have a point today. And my point is, y'all know that I love true crime. I am a true crime buff. I love it. I am subscribed to probably about 100 true crime channels. Now, I don't like, or it's not that I don't like, I just don't watch our branch of true crime, if you know what I mean, like the drama community true crime group. I don't really watch that just because a lot of the time it's not really about true crime. It's about like dramas between the true crime channels, if you know what I mean. Like, so I don't really watch those. Every now and then if they have something that is actually, you know, about true crime, I'll watch a stream or something, but not really that often. I like Briefcase. I like, oh my gosh, I can't even think right now. I love Bailey Sarian. I like Stephanie Sue, but I have to watch her while I'm in the shower because I can't stand the eating sounds. So when I'm in the shower, I can only hear when she talks. I can't hear the eating sounds because I can't stand it. I'm, like I said, I'm subscribed to so many channels, and I love this shit. But I also have been really thinking recently that it's kind of an issue. The speculation on these channels, which is an important thing to do, it's important to speculate. However, the speculation and the people on the internet are starting to go a little bit too far with that. Showing up at people's homes, going to, you know, crime scene sites, and even if it's not, you know, an active crime scene, like, if you go fool around with it and you're digging, if you're just messing with stuff, they might come back to that spot 10 years later, and because they have a suspicion that something's still there or they missed something. And if you go there and mess with stuff, it's messing up the crime scene. You know what I mean? It could be a possibility that something that you accidentally, I don't know, kick or run over or something like that, that could have been something that, like, breaks that crime. If you get what I'm saying. I'm sure you do. But with this, I've been watching this Summer Wells case. It's like a little 5-year-old girl that went missing. She's still missing. I think it's day, like, 14 or something. I don't know. Because I know her... I watched a video from 4 days ago, and it was day 9. So, yeah, I think it's, like, day 13 or 14, something like that. And, the speculation on that family, and I'm not saying they're innocent, because I don't know those people. Because I've gotten fooled before. I've gotten in my feelings and jumped the gun. I'm not going to say the little girl's name, but she was a little girl that was SA'd, and the dad put a bunch of videos on the internet. If you guys watch true crime, you know what I'm talking about. And it was really public, everything that was happening to this little girl. And initially I was like, oh my God, a kid doesn't act like that for no reason. Something happened to that child. And I still believe that child's being abused, but maybe not the way we thought. Because if somebody is coaching her to do that, or to say a certain thing so that she can stay with them, that's abuse too, in my opinion. Manipulating your child, not good. But anyways, when that first all came out, I was like, oh no, there's no way that this child is acting like this, and it's not true. She was hurting. And now the more that comes out about it, the more you're like, oh man, like, was I fooled? And like I said, either way, that little girl's a victim. Of who, I don't know, because I wasn't there. So I'll probably never know what actually happened. None of us will. But it's just the point, like, speculation sometimes can be really dangerous. Speculation sometimes can be really good, though, because sometimes you can, like, you know, because the cops do, I believe, watch this stuff and keep up with it, because sometimes these true crime channels come up with leads that takes them right where they needed to go all along. But also sometimes it really distracts from the case when the parent is, okay, so, like, say my daughter went missing, okay? I'm a recovering heroin addict. If my daughter went missing, do you know the first thing that would be brought up? That I'm a junkie. And it is what it is. People would speculate that, you know, that I'm back on drugs and maybe I did something, and that's what's dangerous, I feel like. Like I said, I'm not saying that in the Summer Wells case that anybody's innocent by any means, because there are some really sus things, I have to admit. But there's also things that people are speculating about that just, I don't know. Apparently the older brother is a SO on the registry of SOs. I hate those gnats. We have these little gnats that keep coming up our drain. It's driving me crazy. But apparently her brother is on the SO registry. But apparently what happened was he had a girlfriend that was a few years younger. And I think he was like 19 or 20, something like that. And, you know, he got in trouble. Either way, he still has that charge. So, I don't know. And then the dad apparently has some domestic violence charges against the mother. But listen, if me and my husband, and he would never do this, so this is just for example's sake, if me and my husband got into an altercation and the police came and they arrested him and he had a charge, would I immediately jump to, he's gonna murder my children? No. Like, why would I automatically jump to that? Because we had an altercation. Like, why would anybody jump to, oh, well, he probably did it since, you know, he has this past of fighting with his wife. Because I don't even know if it was physical or not. But I'm just saying, like, that's a little bit of a stretch. People do make mistakes and get into physical altercations. I'm not saying that that's okay by any means. But I don't think that I would jump from getting into a physical or verbal altercation with your wife to end your child. I can't. Apparently, the mom has some issues that are being brought up, that she is an addict or in recovery, I'm not sure which. But apparently she's had CPS called on her a lot of times, which I did see some pictures of the little girl, and in the background you can see the house. They were not living in good conditions. I will say that. But again, maybe the mom's a hoarder. Maybe she's really depressed, because to be honest with you, when I first got off of drugs, I was so depressed. I got in a really bad way, and I didn't want to clean. I didn't want to do anything. I took care of my kids, fed them and bathed them, did stuff that they needed me to do. But by the time I did all those things, my spoons were gone, if you know what that means. I don't know if you guys know the spoons analogy, but by the time I, got my kids the things that they needed throughout the day, I didn't have any energy for cleaning the house and this and that. So, to jump from people have called CPS because she's a hoarder to she her child, I don't know. And like I said, these people do seem a little bit sus. The mom finally did an interview, and she was pretty emotionless, and it was pretty shocking how calm she was, and she referred to her in the past tense. She kept saying she was this, and she was that. But again, I don't know if that makes somebody a suspect just because they say something like that. And I know that their job is to speculate about these things and come up with ideas, but at the same time, it's just really dangerous to bring up these people's pasts that have nothing connected to harming a child. It would be totally different if their past included child abuse or some. Dang it, sorry. I've been trying not to say the word so that YouTube doesn't get mad. But it would be different if they had, like, CA in their past, or something that connected them to doing something harmful to their child. That would be it for me. It would be much more believable. But my thing is these people are going through their child being missing. Their child is missing right now. And they're probably really hurting. Or, like, even if they're guilty, a different case. Can you imagine what the parents are going through when they can't find their child? I almost feel like a missing child is just as hurtful as knowing your child is deceased. For the simple fact of, you don't know where they're at. You don't know what happened to them. You don't know anything. And that would probably drive you insane. And you can't get any closure. And you can't grieve. You can't start the grieving process when it's still an open wound. You don't know what happened to them. So that wound is never going to heal. You never get that closure for, knowing what happened to your child, or knowing what happened to your husband, or whatever. I cannot imagine that pain. I know the pain of losing children, and I carry that grief with me every day. It will never go away. I will never forget about it. When I'm watching my kids play, I will forever wish that my other children could be there playing with them. So when your child is missing, I would imagine it's very similar. You will never get what you're needing to heal when your child is deceased. And I'm not saying it's worse because when you find out your child is deceased, you'll never see them again. So I'm not, like, trying to compare them because they're not really the same thing, but each is just as hard as the other one, I think, just in different ways. But these people are already going through this, and then they have people accusing them of having something to do with it just because they have a past that has nothing connected to CA.